and welcome to our podcast, Your World, Our View, a podcast by Training and Progression. Today we are delighted to welcome our very special guest, renowned traditional Irish musician, Kevin O'Donnell. Kevin, you're a very busy man between festivals and teaching your new edition of the music shop in Donegal Town. How do you fit it all in?
It's very busy, very busy, Ronan. Well, thanks to you all for inviting me here today. I'm delighted to be here as the special guest. It's a great honour to be here.
Nice.
I know you told me earlier on that Daniel O'Donnell was here last week, so I feel very privileged to be in the seat today. To be interviewed, but yeah, very busy. Life's very busy at the minute for me. I suppose I've to go over the new music shop or the shop in Donegal Town from Paddy Ward. So it's a busy town at the minute, Donegal. There's a lot of tourism there, and the shop's really busy between locals and tourists alike. And I've got great support from the local people. There's no doubt about that. And I suppose it's a good fit for me. With my music school, I have over 100 myself, personally, in my own private music school, and I suppose I teach a lot of the schools locally around here for years, and I suppose people would know me well, because I suppose I'm doing this for about 15, 16 years with my own school and teaching in primary level schools, so I suppose it was a good fit for me to take over the shop, and so far it's working quite well, but I'm still finding my bearings in the shop because it's all new to me. It's all new to me, opening a business as in, what to order in and how much to order in stock and what people might like to buy. So I'm still trying to figure all these kind of things out, but I'll get there. I've got great help. I suppose my wife Lisa's great help. She's very supportive, and as well as my whole family. So I've got great support to get, but I've got great support from local musicians too, and guiding me on what maybe I should be having in the shop. And things like that regarding maybe stuff like guitar pedals and different like software leads, all that kind of stuff. So I've got great support, I must say, and so I'm just looking forward now to see what the next couple of years bring.
Right, Kevin, who taught you to play the fiddle?
Well, who taught me to play the fiddle was a great man, and he lives in Ballyshannon, and his name is Seamus Sweeney. And Seamus Sweeney undoubtedly is one of the great people of traditional Irish music. He's taught so many professional musicians and musicians that's won awards and became professionals, and music teachers as well. And Seamus and his son Brian, when we were young, myself and my brother Aidan, they would come to Brooklas for a night and Ardra for a night. They'd go to Glenties for a night. And of course they had they were kind of more stationed in Ballyshannon, Kinlopp and Doran area, but you should travel around into our area and teach a lot of us when we were younger. And I think for probably 10 years we went to Seamus Sweeney, and and anybody that went to Seamus Sweeney will probably tell you how grateful they are to him. He was such a nice person and his nice mannerism and teaching. And I suppose personally I owe a lot to Seamus because I learned so much of him. And I suppose it's because of Seamus that now I have so many young people playing traditional music at the minute, and he probably is that link, that real important link that I'll be so ever grateful to him for, But he taught so many great musicians. So was my own brother Aidan and Tara Conhan, I suppose. I was thinking Debbie McGeehan, who plays a fiddle with Daniel O'Donnell. Daniel was here last week, and the list could go on and on. And Seamus Sweeney taught myself. We started out as Seamus Sweeney. I suppose after that there, we had our own relations in Glenties called the Campbells, who were a famous fiddling family, and myself and my brother Aidan would have went to Glenties and learnt a lot of stuff from Jimmy and Vincent and Peter, and because my own grandmother is Campbell as well, so we had that direct link to the Campbells also. And then in my own local community we had the great Martin Wilson, and he's a great accordion player and still is. Sometimes you'll see him up in my music shop in Donegal Town, a very famous accordion player. So me and Aidan would learned a lot of stuff of Martin Wilson as well. Many times we went to the house to him, and many a late night we would have had there playing music of Martin Wilson. He also taught us a lot of music. So then, of course, over the years we would have used the Cardis and the Fiddlery it's Donegal Fiddling Organisation, their programme as well, where we used to go to Glencullen a lot and down to Glenties to fiddle weekends. We would learn plenty of music there also. So we had plenty of opportunity, I suppose, when we were younger, to learn the music between everything, you know. But Seamus Sweeney was definitely the man who put us on the road, and there's no doubt about that. And we're very grateful to Seamus Sweeney because he was such a great link. And everything that's happening around here now with teaching, you know, Seamus was that link to give. He gave us all that. He gave us all that ammunition to teach everyone else. So he definitely should be highly recognised in what he's done for traditional music. So yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah.
There you go now.
How many other instruments do you play?
Oh God, somebody asked me this one day at school not so long ago. I'm thinking, but maybe I'd probably play 7 or 8. Maybe I'd say maybe I'm a jack of all trades, maybe a master of none. But I suppose people have known me all my life were playing probably traditional guitar. Well, sometimes traditional guitar players are hard to get. But I play a lot of traditional guitar, and I suppose I play a lot of fiddle, and I suppose banjo and mandolin I've played over the years in different bands and stuff, and wedding bands, and I suppose I've played a lot of bass guitar in bands over the years, and I play baritone quite a lot, but not as much as I should. Kind of supposed to baritone was one of my first instruments when I started the Seamus years and years ago with flas and stuff, and I played all that, and I play a good bit of whistle. I teach a lot of whistle around schools and that.
Oh.
So so I dabble in a lot of different instruments, but I enjoy every one of them. Everyone's different, you know, but I enjoy them all. But I probably play more fiddle now than anything at the present time, you know. But it's quite good for the shop, because when people come up to the shop and they look at instruments, I suppose I'm in a position then that I can play a tune for them. And I suppose that's a great advantage, that I can play a few tunes on whatever instrument that they're looking at or something, you know. I find it a great help. And sometimes I end up giving wee lessons or wee workshops up in the shop, and maybe the person there might buy the instrument, you know, to give them. So it's a good help to me that I can do that, I suppose. It's a good advantage for the shop and for the business. So, yeah. There you go.
What is your favourite thing about owning the music shop?
I think the favourite thing, Ethan, is probably meeting so many new people every day. Every day, so many different people come through the doors, and they're all from different parts of the world, and I do have great interest in where people are from and stuff, and a lot of the time the Google Maps would come out and they'd be showing me where they're from, maybe in America or in Australia, wee small towns, and I got great interest in that, and the stories and the backgrounds that they would have, because like a lot of them come up to the music shop are musicians. So then, obviously, the conversation will turn to music straight away, and what they play, what kind of music they play, and maybe people that they know that I would have known at different parts of the world. Because traditional music, especially, it's a very small community, and usually if you're chatting to another traditional musician, it'll only take you a minute or two till you find out a mutual friend, or maybe a few mutual friends, and it's a very small community. But yeah, I would say the best thing I like is definitely meeting new people every day and having conversations about them. And I suppose, as well as that, I get a lot of highly regarded musicians come to the shop too for their strings and stuff, and I like meeting all musicians to see where they're playing at the weekends, or maybe before they go on tours and stuff, and because there's not many music shops left really. I think ourselves and maybe Reins is now in Rafo with only 2 shops in Donegal at the minute, and I'm not sure about Leitrim at the minute, and most Donegal's a big county in general, they only have 2 music shops, and so I would see a lot of the musicians in the county here, and I enjoy chatting to them all on a regular basis as well. It's great to have that custom and that relationship with them, you know. But I would say meeting all people from around the world, especially the tourists that come up from America, and because I know played a lot around America and Australia and stuff, and do have good chats with them, you know. So that's that. I like that part of it.
Do you have a favourite song?
Do I have a favourite song? That's a good one now. I like all sorts of music, you know, really, and I suppose, that's a good question. That is a good question. When I was younger, you know, I used to listen to a lot of, myself and my brother Aidan would have grown up listening to a lot of Alton and Dervish and them kind of bands there now, and I always loved the song that I would have got from Mairead from Gweedore called The Flower of Maharalio. And I always thought she sang it absolutely lovely, and I love that song. And I suppose going to more kind of 80s stuff and stuff like that, I always loved Neil Young. And I like Neil
Oh.
Young as well. I really like Neil Young. And I like the song he had called Old Man. That's a lovely song. And Heart of Gold was another favourite I liked of Neil Young.
Maireadny Wooney's related to me and my daddy, actually.
Oh, there you go now.
Yeah.
Look, there's what I tell you about the small world that traditional music is. Everyone knows everybody.
Yeah.
That's great to hear that.
And where's your favourite place that you played?
My favourite place that I played, God, I remember going to Australia one time on tour with a band called Donegal Town, and the Young Wolf Tones. I remember going to a festival called Tarlington Irish Festival, and it was out in a place called Geelong, just south of Melbourne.
Yep.
I just remember so many Irish people being there, and just it was a lovely, lovely, lovely. I always remember that gig. There's so many people from home there, you know, hundreds of people from home, and it was just nice to play for them, you know. And of course, we moved on then to our next destination, wherever that was, but we're leaving all them behind us. But it was a great connection. I remember that night between ourselves and all the young people from home that had emigrated, you know. So I probably over the years played in a lot in America and stuff, but and I was in Australia twice doing tours, but it was great always to meet people from home, young people from home, you know, and just thought it was great to see them at the gigs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great connection for them to see somebody coming out from home to play, you know. But that gig stand out in my memory. It was the Tarlington Irish Festival and at a place called Geelong, and I just remember it being a massive, massive gig, a few thousand people, but mostly all Irish from home, and the place was crackers, you know.
Yeah.
And I suppose another place that stands out too is a place in Scotland called the Barrowlands.
Oh.
And I always remember going into it and walking down the corridor, and I always looking at the corridor there, and you would see Elton John, and you would see Oasis, and all the people that had played there over the time, you know. And I always heard about the atmosphere, and it was so good. I remember playing there one night. It was Good Friday, would you believe it? I always remember it, and the place was absolutely crackers. It was just sold out and crackers. And at another gig, anytime you played there, it was kind of something that always stood out to me, because it was 3,000 or 4,000 people just jammed in tight, maybe a bit more, maybe 5, jammed in tight, and the atmosphere was always electric in it, you know. I'll always remember that. So yeah, them kind of gigs kind of stand out to me. Yeah.
How many people do you think you have taught in school of music over the years?
Oh God, might have taught at least 500 or 600 at least, maybe more. I couldn't. You see, I suppose I don't know. I don't. When people come into music school, I seem to have them till their leaving cert. They want like a lot of maybe people would expect that maybe they come for a year or two, move off. But I've noticed over the years, usually when I get my students at a young age, they tend to stay with me till their leaving certificate, you know, or even after it. And so going by that, like my numbers, I would have over 100 at every given time, but they don't always have the same for like 4 or 5 years, 6 years, maybe with the same people. Then they might move off, and then so I would say anywhere between 500 or 600 to 1,000. I would say maybe. Yeah. I go back to that question. You asked me a question about a gig? A very funny night that always stood out in my mind is probably when my brother Aidan he won the T.G. Cahir Young Musician of the Year award, and we played down in it was the Wexford Opera House. I always remember that. It was a great special moment, I suppose, because my brother Aidan got an award, and it's fully deserving, but it was a massive award to get at the time for him, and I always remember that playing in the Opera House that night. It was it stands out. It always stood out in my head. Just so special for our family, I suppose, you know.
Yeah.
But even that is that's I would say teaching wise, probably between 500 to 1,000. I would say maybe. Yeah.
Your song with some amazing people, such as the Trixons, Derek Warfield, and the Young Wolf Jones.
Yeah.
Could you pick out the highlights of your career?
Well, I played the Chieftains. Was so surreal. We went to Limerick and we played before them on a few occasions. We done like we were We were, as I say, the warlock back for them a while. Then we used to go on there and play at the end with them, you know, and stuff. And it was great. We got to know them all personally. And I suppose the Chieftains was probably the biggest social act, or one of the biggest social acts ever to perform. And that was a great highlight to play the Chieftains. And I always remember a gig in Limerick that we done. It was in the University Concert Hall in Limerick, and I remember it was just cracking just to look over and see Paddy Maloney on the pipes, like, and Sean Keane the fiddle, and you share the stage with them, you know. And I always remember it was a real highlight. But I suppose I've played probably in a lot of big stages in my time, and it's hard to pick out a moment. I suppose I always like playing with my brother Aidan, you know, and I suppose I played with his band a few times. Fiddle, you know, they're a very, very good band, and they're not doing as much now because I suppose they all have their own families and do their own things, but they were probably very busy for 10 years there. But I always enjoyed sharing the stage with them now. No, listen, a highlight, it's hard to pick out. It's really hard to pick out a moment, you know, because it really is hard to pick out a moment. I suppose that moment I was telling Roland about there, but we're aiming at the Granham Ceall, it was a massive moment. I suppose I really enjoyed that because then Fiddle came on at the end of that show and we all played together, and it was just great. It's great for Aidan and the family, and great for the county really, just get the Fiddle boys on because they're all from Donegal and it's all Donegal fiddle music. I really like that night now, but I suppose now I enjoy now going into the likes of the local pubs now and local places where all the students are playing, and like sitting in the middle of them, and kind of I really enjoy that, where they all can play along with me, and I kind of get great satisfaction out of that kind of thing now, you know. So yeah, that's it.
And the Cup of Tea festival was recently held in Ardra in your honour. How did it feel having a festival like that held in your honour, and were you a bit nervous?
I wasn't expecting it at all, Ronan. I was very privileged, I suppose, to accept it, and I suppose when I see the list of honorees that in the past, I was just privileged would be the word, you know, because some of my heroes got honoured at that festival, you know, in the last 20 years or so, and I looked at the list, and there was obviously the great fiddler Breach Harper and Mairead, that we talked about Ridley, and Dermot Byrne, and some of these great, absolutely Danny Meehan out the road here, or Danny, a great fiddler, giant of the traditional. Listen, I was just totally honoured. So that's all I can say. I was nervous. I probably was the Friday night, yeah, I was a bit nervous because with the concert, and my nerves funnily got very bad over the last while, you know, and I don't know, it's funny, maybe it's when you get older, I think about it a lot more or something, I don't know why, but I do get nervous now, but I get back upon the night, and I had a lot of my, I suppose, older students and playing with me, and a few younger ones, and I had a few there of my friends that played with me that night. So we'd like some Martin McGinley and Bernard Kelly, and we had my brother Aidan and his family played along with me, which was quite nice. And Mairead came down and played as well, Mairead Weenie, and Aoife Feeney, a very good friend of mine, and a fabulous fiddler, and of course Tara Conahan, the famous Tara Conahan as well, and played. And so I had a great backup for the night, and but I was busy for the weekend because I had a lot of teaching to do then in the morning, and I had a few recitals to do, and another concert on a Sunday night, and so it was a busy weekend for me. So I really didn't get time to much to think about it much. I was that busy, but no, I was just delighted and very privileged about the whole thing. You know, and I'm still very overwhelmed about it all. Yeah.
Were you teaching a little boy to play?
Would I?
Would you? Oh.
My little boy?
Yeah.
Well, my little boy, he's 5 now, Michael Dara.
Yeah.
And he has this wee fiddle. It's a wee, would you believe it, it's called a 16th of fiddle. It's a wee small fiddle this size here now. And funny, it was my brother Aidan, his uncle got it for him, and but he seems to get a bit, doesn't listen to me that much now. But he takes his fiddle everywhere. He does take it everywhere, but it's more like a cricket bat than it is, or a tennis racket. He ends up beating everything, hitting everything. But no, I don't think he does do too much listening to me yet. But he's only in junior infants, so maybe probably time enough for another year or two. But I think he will. He'll be musical, and the other wee boy Shawnee, he seems to be very musical too. He's always tapping the feet and clapping the hands. So hopefully the two of them. But I'm not forced it upon them. I think that's the worst thing you could do. I'm not forced it upon them. When they want to learn, I'll know and they'll know. But I won't be forcing it upon them. But they definitely are musical. But hopefully now in the next couple of years they'll be nice to go out and play a few tunes with them and things like that. Yeah.
Alright, now you like this one. I'm Brandon's aunt, and I like to hear him playing.
Yes. Brandon.
Yes.
As we were talking before we got down there here, Brandon, your nephew, well, me and Brandon have a very close relationship because I suppose since Brandon since he was 7, and very very talented. Always was very talented from the very first day that I got him to hold the bow. I just knew there was something about him, you know. He picked everything up very very quickly compared to anybody else at his age. And then I used to teach the music in the middle of the town in Dunkineely, and I remember fondly him coming down from school. He was only 8, and he had a CD of Alton.
Yeah.
And he used to have to tell me that he learned 6. There was 12 tunes on the track, and he had 6 learned the night before. And he couldn't wait to get down the street to tell me at 8 years of age, you know, when he played away the tunes for me, he couldn't believe it. I knew then, you know, that it was definitely going to be something special in the music. And you see him now, like, and he's a household name now around the traditional music scene at only 16. And a very modest young boy, and I'm very very proud of him. It's definitely very very proud of him. And I suppose I don't speak about Brandon that much because I'm not one to be talking maybe blowing or brag or these kind of people. I never really say much, but I am very very proud of who he is and the boy he's become, the musician he's become. And he is absolutely fabulous, and I couldn't be more proud of him. And that is true. And we share the same birthday as well.
Oh.
People don't realise that. He was telling me the last day we had a crowd of Scottish musicians over from a music school in Scotland, and they came over to visit us. But me and Brandon were playing at the session. Well, some of these Scottish counterparts were there, but he just looked at me and he says, "Do you know that you'll be 40 and I'll be 18 on the same day? And we'll have a double party." He says, "A double party." So that's might be on the cards. So we'll have a great music session that day. So that's it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like to play guitar. What is your favourite song to play on the guitar?
Favourite song, playing the guitar. Well, I suppose I play a lot of tunes on the guitar. I play a lot of traditional airs and stuff. I suppose I was deeply influenced by the great guitar player Steve Cooney, so who calls to the music school quite a bit, and I'm very grateful to him because sometimes he comes out and gives workshops to some of my students, which is a great help. Sometimes we play a lot of his music. Sheveg Shamore's a nice one that I do play a lot, and what else would I play? And kind of rock and track kind of stuff, or not rock and kind of poppy kind of more stuff. I probably like I like a lot of Queen stuff too, you know. As I said earlier, I like a lot of Neil Young, that kind of stuff as well. I like a lot of Queen. I like Thin Lizzy too. I really love Thin Lizzy, you know, that kind of stuff. Song wise though, let me think about this now for a second. I do like playing Harvest Moon on the guitar, you know, Neil Young. I like that one. I always think about a drop D, you tune the top string down. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe there's a tune I was listening to on the way up in the car there. It's called Wicked Game by Chris Isaac. I always like playing that on the guitar if you get the right person playing along with you. And I do love a bit of blues as well. The blues is lovely. The Rory Gallagher Festival was up here a couple weeks ago, and the blues is hard to beat too. You know, I love Rory Gallagher's stuff too. I really do like Rory Gallagher. It's hard to pick individual songs though. But I say I play a lot of traditional music stuff. I play a lot of Steve Cooney's music, and off his new album, his new harp tunes on the guitar. You know, and I play a lot of his tunes, you know, on the guitar. So yeah, I suppose I'd be greatly influenced by Steve Cooney. Yeah.
And would you teach us a song or two?
Would I teach you a song or two?
Yeah.
I would. Whenever I'll show you how to do a song.
thanks so much, Kevin, for coming on to our podcast, and thanks everyone for tuning in to Your World, Our View. We look forward to seeing you all next time. Go Ramila Maiga agus Slan La.
To the fast road.